2006, experience commerce. How did that happen? What made you, say that okay, let's do something interesting new. Let's start a startup. What was the reason?
There's a very interesting, 2.5 years locked in between that, and that was this unknown company to many called Zycus, Zycus. And that's a company which is based out of Goregaon. I got a call from them once to come in and start working. That is a very brilliant guy there called Atish, and he's a Cornell pass out and worked in Intel, and great vision of building products from India. And he said, we're looking for someone who has been in US and who love products. And there's just a mix of that organization as I walked in was very, very heady. And I just said yes. I signed up. And I think 2.5 years, we built up one of the strongest sourcing and procurement product brands out of India. I had an amazing team which used to work with me. If they see this interview, they'll realize that I was really proud of them. And we used to sit in this dingy bars of Goregaon and we used to say that we're going to take on the world. We would run analyst briefings of Forrester and Gartner, and they had no clue who they're talking to and from where. They just knew this is this strange company in sourcing procurement based out of India. But we were traveling very often, so we sold into I think the top 10 of the Fortune 100 companies, and these are product licenses worth maybe $300,000-$400,000 or more, large deals. So it was very those were again very heady days because we were doing the unthinkable while the world over was glossing over Infosys and Wipro. There's this no-name company, and they were again very PR shy. I think the founder didn't care about whether India media recognized him or not. But today they're a force to reckon with, and they're one of the largest independent product vendors sitting right there behind an Ariba and SAP. So it was a very, very good experience, and I think. The founder there, he inspired us all to go start our own things. Though he would not explicitly state it, but there was this culture there of entrepreneurship. And though it was late in life for me, I decided to go ahead and take the plunge. I partnered with a few people I knew there and started experience commerce. But we didn't want to do B2B. We were done with stacks and large-scale enterprise networks and DuPonts and GEs. We said, hey, consumer internet is the holy grail. Because that's where no one pays any buck, and if they come and click and they can go, and we had no clue of how to do it. But that was the challenge, and we just plunged right in, and we started this. We didn't start off as an agency. We started off as building internet services, build some interesting stuff using multimedia, photo, text, videos mixed up on a postcarding service. And so found it very, very difficult to get money and funding here, and a lot of people started calling us because of our ability to innovate on the web. And that's when we realized that, hey, there's a business opportunity. And before we knew it, we were called an agency. And we had cracked our first big campaign, called Great Driving Challenge, and the rest,
Interesting. Sandeep, one question here. You started at 2006, and it's just close to 9 years. When you started till today, the digital has also evolved in the country, right? So you've seen digital evolution in the country. So I want to know, what did you start selling with? And now, where are you? So that we can also know the digital evolution from your perspective.
So we started with Web 2.0, right? And that was the jargon, Web 2.0 and web applications. And we were building web applications. We had a great team. Amit and Rajiv, we were doing interesting stuff, and so I found a ready market for people who were looking for innovations on the web. Found great partners in the Microsoft network, with people in Google. The entire sales team, they would call me and they'll say, hey, we're going to go pitch to this client. Now clients didn't understand digital much that time, right? So both Google and Microsoft and Yahoo were all trying to find good partners who could do interesting stuff with them, because they knew a lot of people who could build websites, but they didn't. That app expertise was not there so much in India that time. So I remember, with Yahoo, we built some non-stop 72 hours rockathon in Bangalore, where we were live streaming. So how we cracked it, through dual systems, triple redundant systems, and stuff like that. And work with Google, work with Microsoft to sell Facebook apps along with their advertising. So these were partners who gave us that helping hand, and so I started connecting the dots. We figured out, okay, here are some interesting stuff which we can do. We got some great friends in contract who called us in and said, hey, there's this client who wants to do some massive stuff. That time, I remember it was that great, the holiday campaign was on, right? The best job in the world. And the CEO of this company said, I want to do something like that. And we cracked that campaign. And so early days, I think it was really about identifying opportunities. With a little business experience in the background, I always wanted to work in the premium market. So from the very early days on, we came known or famous or infamous, whatever you call it, but it's like, these people always charge a lot of money. And I used to be firm that if you want quality, if you want, world-class stuff, please give us, world-class money. Which didn't happen all the way, but we kept asking and we kept prodding and that's how we have been. We have always not gone for the mass market. We have not gone for the 50 logos on the website. We have worked with a few partners, and wherever we have worked with, it's been a journey.
Very interesting. First half of 2014, Lighthouse Insights is a big fan of experience commerce work, what you're doing in digital. Any work that has stood very close to you? Why?
2014, the MRF Rain Day is a work is very close to my heart. For a while, because we have come from the technology roots, we had to really learn the skill of design and creative, and making things look beautiful. That's something we have been chasing for the last 2 years like crazy, because it's very difficult to acquire that skill, and I think that's where the West leads India by several years, just because of the sheer availability of the talent pool. So we wanted to build campaigns which would not just be cool from a technology standpoint, but which would be visually delightful. It's really the whole storytelling that we talked about. So we wanted to build a very evocative experience. We wanted to invest in photography. We wanted to do the best of the best in terms of the digital experience delivery on the web. So when we started, the idea was simple, that we would just go out and capture the story of the Indian monsoon, the clouds which would move over from the coast of Kerala to Mumbai, and along with the anticipation of people in the rain of the rains, that we would just bring them the story. But we didn't want this to be a text-based story. We wanted it to be a photo-based story. We didn't want it to be a blog. We wanted to use cinemagraphs. We wanted to use instant videos. We were, of course, inspired by I think there's a campaign, the bushfire, the stories of the fire in the Australian prairies. I don't know the exact context, but I saw some of that and we said, hey, this is the kind of work that we need to do. So our thought was inspired by a book of Chasing the Monsoon. And we just went ahead and did it in our own way. And whoever saw that campaign, whoever was touched by that campaign for 2 or 3 minutes, said, this gave us such nice feelings, such beautiful photographs. So, we got the story, and nowhere did you come out and talk about the tire. And the brief from the client was, this is a grudge category. We got to do work again and again, which will make people fall in love with the brand. And I think that's starting to happen, and you can see you can anticipate some very, very exciting stuff that we will do with them in the year to come.